cima ali do Rogério, perdeu o lance, contra-ataque, vem pro Neymar, já partiu, já ganhou do zagueiro, Neymar tá na área, driblou, o goleiro vai fazer golaço!
Considering he's been linked with big moves every year since his breakthrough at Santos, where does Neymar Jr. come from, and what shaped him into the player he is today? What's up? My name is Adrian from Rabona TV, and today I'll be guiding you through the early life and career of Neymar. Now, if you want more player and manager bios, plus transfer specials on Fridays, and in-depth news and statistical reviews of the weekend action once the season starts, then make sure you hit that subscribe button. But other than that, let's get to it. Neymar da Silva Santos Jr. was born on the 5th of February 1992 in the Mogi das Cruzes area of Saõ Paulo. Just to improve your worldliness, Saõ Paulo is actually the 12th largest city in the world. But anyway, his mother is Nadine Santos, and his father, Neymar Sr., was a professional footballer in Brazil for a time. He also has a sister named Rafaela Becran, who is a model/blogger, whom he is extremely close with. In fact, the siblings are so close that Rafaela has a tattoo of Neymar's eyes, and Neymar, he got a portrait of his sister tattooed onto his arm. Nice. Neymar has loved video games from a very young age, and still loves them to this day. But something he's loved more than that is football, and he actually learned basic motor skills like learning how to walk, run, balance, and much more from the age of 3, all while having a ball at his foot. He played within the youth setup of Portuguesa Santista from 1999 to 2003 when his family moved to the São Vicente area of Saõ Paulo. It was also here where future coach Betinho first saw him playing in a beach football match and claims that the technical ability was there to see even then. With the youth team at Portuguesa Santista, he would play both futsal and football. The way he moves with the ball makes sense now, no? His family ended up moving once again in 2003 when Neymar signed on with the Santos Youth Academy. In fact, the home that he ended up moving into is now just one street behind the Instituto Projeto Neymar, which is like a community outreach center with football pitches, etc. Talk about giving back to your community. Signing on with the Santos Youth Academy was no small feat, as around this time, the club was getting tons of international attention thanks to Robinho and his myriad stepovers. By the way, don't let Robinho slip your mind, he'll be in this bio a little later as well. In training, Neymar made fast friends with Gonzo, and they would rise through the Santos youth ranks together. But Neymar almost left Santos before they could make it to the senior team together. In 2006, aged 14, Neymar traveled to Madrid to join Real Madrid Castilla. During his trials with the youth teams, he blew the Madrid training staff away with his natural ability and dominance over his peers. However, just under a week into his stay in Madrid, a strong bout of homesickness took over after being separated from his home, his family, and his friends. After telling the Madrid staff that he wanted to leave, they did everything in their power to try and get him to stay, including introducing him to various Galacticos such as David Beckham and Zinedine Zidane, and of course, the Brazilian contingent of Roberto Carlos, Ronaldo, and former Santos player Robinho. None of this swayed Neymar into wanting to stay, and he returned home to continue his career with Santos in early April of 2006. Almost exactly 3 years later, aged 17, he would make his senior debut for Santos on March 7th, 2009 in a 2-1 win over Oeste. 1 week later, he would score the first of his 136 goals for Santos against Mogi Mirim. In his first season as a professional, he would score 14 goals in 48 matches. It was also in 2009 that Neymar started to impress on the world stage at the U17 World Cup. His performances put massive pressure on Seleção manager Dunga, with former players such as Romario and Pelé urging him to include him in his 2010 FIFA World Cup roster. They ultimately failed in their push to get Neymar on the team, but don't you worry, Neymar would have his time to shine for the Seleção. The following season in the Campeonato Paulista, Neymar managed to score 14 goals in 19 matches, and subsequently was awarded the Player of the Tournament award. And it was also around this time that Santos began rejecting offer after offer for Neymar. One of the most notable and earliest ones was from West Ham, an offer of £12 million. Imagine that. Shortly after, Chelsea got in on the act, offering £20 million for the young player, which was also turned down, but Neymar did say that he was honored to receive an offer from a club of that stature. Neymar had one of his best years ever in 2010, scoring 42 goals in 60 games. The Santos board realized they had a special talent on their hands, even going so far as to sacking manager Dorival Jr. when Neymar was unhappy with him. How did it happen? Neymar was fouled and a penalty was awarded. Instead of allowing Neymar to take it, Dorival Jr. asked a teammate to take it, causing Neymar's temper to flare. He turned his back on his manager and had to be restrained by his captain, Edu Drakena. Dorival wanted Neymar to be suspended for 2 weeks. Instead, the board sided with the young talent and sacked the manager immediately. Harsh, but perhaps a good move in the end, considering the player Neymar turned out to be. In 2011, not only did Neymar win the Puskás Award for his goal against Flamengo in a 5-4 loss, but he also led Santos to their first Copa Libertadores title since 1963, scoring 6 goals along the way and winning the Man of the Match award in the second leg of the final. With that Libertadores win, Santos qualified for the Club World Cup, where Neymar would further his international notoriety in helping Santos qualify for the final against Barcelona. They would lose 4-0 to Barcelona ultimately, but nobody would forget the 19-year-old Brazilian, especially in South America, where he won the South American Footballer of the Year award by a record margin. 2012 was a record year for Neymar, as he scored for fun, getting 43 goals in 47 matches, another Puskás Award nomination, and he beat out fellow Brazilian Ronaldinho to win the South American Footballer of the Year award for the second straight year. It was also in 2012 that reports began to leak that Neymar, Barcelona, and Santos had come to an agreement that would see the young Brazilian move to the Catalonian club in 2 years' time. Neymar of course denied it at the time, and perhaps there wasn't an agreement, but in hindsight, it's hard to believe that there wasn't, no? In 2013, which would ultimately be his last season with Santos, Neymar still managed to score 13 goals in 23 matches. Though he said earlier in the year that it was, quote, pointless in speculating when I will leave Santos, I will leave what I want, his father and agent Wagner Ribeiro announced that Neymar would be moving to Europe after the 2014 World Cup in Brazil. Well, he didn't stick around that long in the end. So on May 26, 2013, Neymar played in his final match for Santos, being brought to tears while the national anthem was played. Just 1 day later, he announced that he'd be signing on with Barcelona on a 5-year deal. Now, as you know, as it's still sort of ongoing to this day, there was a ton of controversy surrounding the transfer from Santos to Barcelona. So if you want more on that, I have an entire video dedicated to it. And I'm not trying to self-promote my other videos, it's a long, complicated explanation that really needed a video in itself, and I don't want to add any extra length to this video. So check that out, I'll link it in the description. At the 2013 Confederations Cup in Brazil, Neymar began to truly show what all the hype surrounding him was about. He scored the first goal of the tournament in a 3-0 win over Japan, added a goal and an assist against Mexico, and then went 3 for 3 in the group stage by scoring a powerful free kick against Italy, securing the Man of the Match award in all 3 group stage matches. Skipping ahead to the final, Neymar scored the second goal in Brazil's dominant defeat of defending world champions and Euro 2012 champions Spain, and he was subsequently awarded the Golden Ball for the player of the tournament. In Spain, Neymar made his competitive debut as a substitute, replacing Alexis Sanchez in a 7-0 drubbing of Levante. He scored his first goal on August 21st against Atletico Madrid, again coming on as a substitute, and thus ensuring Barcelona won the Supercopa de España on away goals. 1 month later, on September 18th, 2013, he scored his first Champions League goal in a 4-0 win over Ajax, and in his first ever Clásico, he scored the opener and assisted Alexis Sanchez for the 2-1 win over Madrid at the Camp Nou. In his debut season, he managed 15 goals in 41 matches, but the best was yet to come. In his second season in Spain, following a disheartening exit from the World Cup thanks to a fractured vertebrae, Neymar looked to be twice the player he was in his freshman season in Spain. And his partnership with Lionel Messi and the newly arrived Luis Suarez would take no time to become effective. And with that terrifying trio leading their attack, Barcelona rolled on to have one of their most successful seasons in their very, very recent history, securing a domestic double, as well as winning the Champions League to complete the treble. In fact, MSN, as they would come to be called, was so dominant, they ended the season with a combined 122 goals in all competitions, with Neymar contributing 39 of them himself from 51 matches. He also became just the 8th player to win a Copa Libertadores and a UEFA Champions League, and the first to score in both victories in the finals. In his last 2 seasons, we've seen a change in his play, if only slight. With 2 of the world's best finishers playing alongside him in the attack, Neymar has made massive improvements on his final ball. In the 2016-17 season, he endured a lengthy goal-scoring drought. Yet he never stopped being the setup man, racking up 19 assists in all competitions. Yet he still managed to score his 100th Barcelona goal on April 2nd, 2017, after just 177 appearances for the club. Unfortunately for Barca fans, he would only make 9 more appearances for the club, rounding it out to 186 matches and 100 205 goals. In case you were living under a rock, the reason for the abrupt end to his Barca career was thanks to a coup from PSG, namely Qatar Sports Investments, who helped trigger Neymar's massive release clause of 222 million euros. It would be presumptuous to say that Neymar will be a huge success at PSG, but with the quality surrounding him, the chance to be the main man, and the fact that he is still a few years away from what many consider to be the prime age for a footballer, then it's hard to bet against the man that has scored 241 club goals in 411 matches and 52 goals in 77 matches for his country. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this deep dive into the life and career of Neymar. And if you did, then make sure you hit that subscribe button. My name is Adrian with Rabona TV, and I will hopefully see you soon. Peace!